Hello and welcome to another mod showcase. After my last video I got a couple of questions about my loot loadout and I thought I would share that with you. As my last video was on the leveled loot adder, I won't talk about that one, however it would otherwise be on this list. Up first we have all armour lootable and wearable by Bear. Its name somewhat gives away a lot of what it does, but I'll expand on that a little. Have you ever thought it was strange that you've wiped the floor with some thief and their armour wasn't in the loot pool? Ever been confused how that assassin's robes just wouldn't come off? Ever been annoyed at the lack of Draugr armour on offer in this game, despite it being clearly visible on them? Well, this mod seeks to fix that problem by re-adding those armours to the correct pools. It's really that simple. A few key points is the armours are unenchanted and your carry weight can take a huge hit. But in terms of immersion, this is a must-have mod. Unless you put on the Briarheart armour, which looks like you have a hole in the chest and probably skin seams if you have unmodded skin, which I imagine we all do. So this mod changes leveled lists, increases world items, gives you new options for playthroughs and immersion, and yet it only takes up 172.6 kilobytes, which is incredible. Up next we have a personal favourite of mine, the rather fantastically named Better Loot by XX Mr. Hollywood. The mod author has painstakingly gone through and upgraded the loot in pretty much every chest, urn and basically anywhere where you find static loot. The way this mod works is by increasing both the percentage chance at certain item types as well as the amount of slots these could appear in. You may actually find yourself facing a chest with actual rewards in. This mod also makes searching barrels, sacks and satchels more worthwhile, as it even gives off increased loot in those, making alchemy achievable in the process. And all this comes in at only 13.9 kilobytes. This mod synergizes so well with so many of my favourite mods as well, such as Skyrim Revisited, which adds in so many urns, barrels and chests you'll be lucky to get out without becoming over encumbered. People may think I'm strange for finding this immersive, but heading into a dungeon and leaving with the loot of everyone would make you a very rich person. I know a lot of people who favour restrictive loot mods, and I understand wanting to slow progression, but with difficulty mods, dungeon extender mods and the like on as well, trust me when I say you've earned it, pun totally intended. Moving on to a fun little mod, Mr. B's Lootable Things. In an instance similar to my first mod, I've always found all of the unlootable barrels and boxes to be a bit of an oversight. This aims to correct that with all naturally spawning variants of these, unfortunately not the modded in ones. Generally speaking, the rewards can be alchemy ingredients, food, drink, jewellery and straw to simulate packaging protection, which I actually found to be a really nice touch. This mod just makes so much sense to me. Everything about it's well made and even well reined in to assure that it doesn't make the game too easy given the number of these that can spawn. Everyone I've suggested this to has enjoyed it so far, so I wanted to bring it over to you all too. This mod comes in at just 1 megabyte as well, and due to what it edits, is very unlikely to conflict with anything, so another big win for this mod. Pro tip though, go to Solitude Docks. There are tons of these on offer. Up next is another mod for immersion. Personally I use Real Wildlife by Nadius, but I've already spoken about that recently, so I wanted to give another option. Nadius' mod and Hunterborn come in at 25 megabytes and 65 megabytes respectively, and generally speaking are two of the most popular animal loot and extras mods. For good reason too. But for those of you trying to save space, may I suggest Creatures and Food, Realistic Loot, Value and Weight Overhaul, which at 177.6 kilobytes is a lot more space friendly. This mod also gives a lot away with its title, and I do love that, but again I will expand a little. Animals are now fully lootable. You can take both the eyes, the livers, meat, fat, both the antlers and horns. Anything that the animal would naturally have is lootable. No more wolves wearing rings either, which has always wound me up a little bit. This mod also lowers and raises the weights of items to something more realistic. Antlers for example are heavy, but now fetch a much better price. Eyes are lootable in pairs and weigh much less, because not every part of an animal is 0.5 of whatever weight system is being used here. I still always suggest Real Wildlife as it makes the world space feel so much better. See the video that I'll pin in the top corner. But this mod will deal with some of the glaring immersion problems and I'm really happy to recommend it. So now I'm going to throw some suggestions out there for everyone. The first of which is going to be Skin Ripper's Treasure Hunt, a fun little expansion on the game adding in multiple chests and a little story to boot. We also have things like Mora Loot, which will make drops rarer and more worthwhile. I prefer to go the other route as previously stated, but I want to give you this option. Another treasure hunt you could go on is for any of BillyRo's weapons and armors, which are fantastically well made, leveled and integrated, so check those out. We also have 3 mods I have discussed many times in Real Wildlife, Skyrim Revisited, Encounter Zones and Leveled Actors, as well as the leveled loot adder. This, however, is going to do it for me today. I hope this has been helpful. If it has, I do always appreciate those likes, comments and subscriptions. Do of course let me know what you want to see coming soon. Otherwise, thank you for watching and I will see you in the next one.